Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I, the pure consciousness, would manifest the words of truth and the words of wisdom. Blessings be on the listener. It has been inquired a couple of days back, but I didn't get around it because I was busy. That what is enlightenment? It has been inquired by a person that what is enlightenment, and how do we know when we are enlightened? The person has asked, what is enlightenment? And how do we know that we are enlightened? It's been a couple of days since the question was asked, but as I just mentioned that I have been busy, so I didn't get around it. However, I find this inquiry, however, I find this question significant, and I have chosen this question to answer. Enlightenment, just like meditation, as remember in one of my last messages I mentioned that meditation is a word which is a widespread word globally. You see what I'm saying? Meditation is globally a widespread word. Hence, it's really hard to come to a conclusion that this is a conclusive or this is a concrete definition of meditation. There is a reason I'm telling you. We'll get to the answer of this particular present inquiry, but there is a reason that I am mentioning that. So, because it's meditation, just like meditation, enlightenment also is globally a widespread word, and the connotation of enlightenment is also widespread. The definition or the concrete definition may vary from country to country. The concrete definition may vary from culture to culture, or even within a country, from cities to cities. The definition, or even person to person, the definition of enlightenment may vary. There is a very bright chance of that. I would tell you something. Remember something. When you inquire me, when you ask me a question, I try to approach the question through different numerous ways. I try to connect the dots, but in the end, when all the dots are connected, it points out to the answer of the inquiry. So, as I said, that enlightenment is a widespread word, and the connotation may vary even, in a nutshell, from person to person. If you present a single event, please remember that and follow my words, what I am saying. If you present a same scenario from 100 different people, if you present a scenario to 100 different people, if you present a scenario to numerous people or 100 different people, and you give them a pencil and a paper, and you ask them that after a certain period of time, after a certain observance of that particular event, if you ask them that can you write down as what you have experienced. So every single observation or every single finding would be different from another person. Remember something, without conditioning and without domestication, what they are observing through their authentic self remains same. But with the domestication, with the conditioning, that everything in the end, what they know, whatever they know, conclusive, everything, whatever they perceive, it goes through whatever they know. Hence the observance of that experience or the finding would be different. Same goes enlightenment is no different. So the word, basically the definition of enlightenment varies from person to person. We'll get to what enlightenment is, and we'll get to that how do we know we are enlightened. Okay, first of all, enlightenment is an experience. First of all, please remember that enlightenment is an experience that cannot be missed. You understand what I'm saying to you? Enlightenment is an experience so vivid and so clear that it cannot be missed. That's number one. Number two, enlightenment, as I said, the definition of enlightenment varies, but we are trying to reach the inquiry through the wise men, through the sages, through the rishis, the observance of their personal experiences. Enlightenment is an experience so clear and so big that it cannot be missed. When you are enlightened, there is no way this huge experience or the clarity in your awareness that you can miss. Enlightenment is when a person has dissolved their karma. Enlightenment is when a person is not led or influenced by their karma. Enlightenment is when a person has no fear of any type whatsoever. Enlightenment is when a person has broken the barriers, when a person has broken the bands, when a person has cut the ribbons of free dimensional reality, and now the perception of this particular person, the enlightened being, has become so heightened. The perception of the enlightened being has become so heightened that the person is experiencing the present moment only, and the person is not suffering the memory. The person has broken the barriers and the bonds of the memory. It does not mean the person has lost the memory. The memory is there. The person does not get any emotional reaction now from the memory. The person has transcended himself or herself from any negative trait, meanings the person has transcended himself or herself from jealousy, meaning the person has transcended himself or herself from fear, meaning the person has transcended himself or herself through addiction. Enlightenment or in being enlightened means where there is no further search for happiness now is necessary. Have you heard an English word, and it is called fulfillment? I'm sure you have. I'm sure most of my viewers here are coming from good background and they have a great comprehension of English. Have you heard a word, and it is called fulfillment? The most acceptable, the most acceptable definition of fulfillment is that a person or a being has found the concrete peace which is unshakable, and there is no further search of any type is necessary. There comes a time when the person is enlightened, they feel totally satisfied and totally at peace and totally fulfilled, where there is now no search of happiness is necessary. The person is totally at peace without any fears. The person is totally at peace without any contradiction or duality in their awareness. That's what we understand as enlightenment. As I am saying these words to you, and you are thinking, as I am saying these words to you, and these words are coming out, these words are coming out of my mouth, and as you are hearing my words and you are hearing about all these beautiful traits, it seems like if you imagine through a thinking mind, or if you use your imagination, you come to a conclusion that this person is telling there would be heaven all around us. If we shed all the karma, and if we are not influenced or attached with the memory, or when we are not suffering the memory, or when we are not led by any negative emotions including fear, then of course the state of the being is not, the state of the being is heaven, or what we understand, the state of the being is heaven, or what we understand as paradise. Then what remains, we can call it paradise. And you are daydreaming about it, and you are thinking that if it seems marvelous, it seems beautiful, but it seems impossible also to get there. So I have a good news for you. Thank God I am the bearer of the good news today. I have a good news for you, and the good news is that it is very possible. You see, it is very possible. It's just depends the how much you are interested to get there. It just depends the what intensity you have in yourself to get to that point. It just depends on that, but it is very possible. The more your intensity is, the sooner you would get there, because you would take all the measures to get there. You would reprogram yourself. Then you would not live in negative emotions such as fear, because now you know the ultimate truth. Then you would not get involved yourself in small petty things such as gossips, such as backbiting. Then you would not, your vacuum would be totally empty from all these negative traits, and you would become more clear, and you would become more receptive within you. When that happens, the process of being enlightened, or the process to live in the heaven, expedites naturally. Please know that, and please remember that. It's important for you to remember. Okay. I do have done so. I'm not claiming any type of enlightenment. Please follow my words. Don't miscomprehend me, or don't misunderstand me. I every day, every day goes by, the more I am closer to the light than I was day before. You see, every day goes by, the more I am closer to the light than I was yesterday. That's how I look at it. Because I keep my vacuum from all these small petty negative things totally free. That's number one. When the vacuum is empty, when my energy is not being invested in a scheme, backbiting to get even, in resentment, in judging people, when my energy, the very energy, is not invested in those things, my vacuum is empty. You see what I'm saying? And when my vacuum is empty, it's only natural for the being to be receptive to the truth, and truth only. You become receptive to the truth. I'm giving you the tools to get there. You become receptive towards the truth, and you practice Kriya every day. You practice meditation, the meditative part of Kriya, every day. No matter what happens, you make some time for yourself. That much you owe yourself, even if it is 10 minutes or 15 minutes, to see the remarkable, to see the miraculous results of your practice. So enlightenment is cannot be achieved in a blink of an eye, or in a day, or even in months. As I said, that we are looking at something closely through different perspective. There are evidence in ancient India that there were rishis. They achieved enlightenment very quickly. But that is not just the work of one lifetime. The speculation or the observance is it was the result of numerous lifetimes. And number two is dedication towards all these things. Challenge the beliefs which makes you uncomfortable. Challenge the thoughts that makes you uncomfortable. Challenge any type of emotion which makes you uncomfortable, which goes against for what you essentially are, which keeps you restless, which gives birth rather which gives birth rather to a contradiction, to a duality in your awareness. Challenge all that. Do not accept it as a normal trait. Do not accept it as a natural trait. Challenge everything and see if it makes sense to you. Do not accept or discard anything. Be open to it. If it has any shred and wisdom, if it is friendly to you, please adopt it if it is friendly to you. Do not do self abuse by having negative emotions and having negative thoughts, because remember, in numerous messages I have mentioned before, you are the perceiver of your perception. If you are having an ill feeling or a negative emotion about somebody, that person may not be even aware of you, but you are having it and you are perceiving it within. So you are the perception. You are the one who, unfortunately, God forbid, being tormented in the end. So get rid of these things. Look into things if they are friendly. Look into things if they bring concrete peace. Nobody, remember something, this is what mysticism is. Nobody teaches you that way. You are born that way. But then what happens as you grow up? Everyone hooks your attention towards something, you see, and you are not the only person to whom it has happened or it's happening. It happens to every single individual on the face of this planet, you see. But we remember, only not long ago I was talking about free will, you see. But we have a choice here to change that. We have a choice to change our karma. We have by practicing solely and truthfully our free will. We have freedom of that. We can free our will from all these negative traits, and we can reprogram ourselves. We can rewrite the story in peace, harmony, and love. It's very impossible for you to get to the truth, the ultimate truth, the light, or being enlightened. It's very possible for you. And as I have told you, I have given you tools that how you can expedite the very process of it. Empty your vacuum. Empty your vacuum. There must not be a separate self. There must not be a sense of individuality. The things you become identified with, and after a certain period of time, you think that this is what you are. This is not what you are. This is what you have learned to be. If you can learn it, you can unlearn it. I do it all the time. That's why, for the most part in my life, I live in peace and harmony. So you understand now what is enlightenment. You understand now enlightenment is an experience that cannot be and won't be missed. Please remember that. And enlightenment is when we do not go against ourselves, when we look at life and we know life by every aspect of it that there is to know life, beyond fear, beyond jealousy, beyond discrimination, when there is no duality in our awareness, when there is just the truth of the Brahman. That's what enlightenment is. If you have any questions regarding what I have told you here, if you have any questions regarding the message I conveyed or delivered here, if you have any confusions, I always and always welcome you to write me. Write me, and I'm here for you, and I would clear your confusions. I would clear your contradictions in your awareness. Remember, my job is to bring clarity, so the human suffering that we humans go through every day on the regular basis would end. Uh,